And welcome everybody to Wednesday's night main event.
Bam.
I am KB from KB Anglers and wrong direction. Let's go back that way.
Yep. Right here.
Would be the Bullock Experience, the Creek Junkie himself.
Creek Junkie himself.
And of course, down below, you shall see Mr. Patriot James and Patriot Ghost Float Man himself.
Extraordinaire.
There you go. Make it sound official.
That's above the mayonnaise level for me.
Yeah, like this one. It's like Kevin's about to
knock you. And we got a few folks up in here. Miss Chrissy Brown was the first one at 12:42 today to pop in and say, "Let's go." She was ready.
Yeah,
351 Cleveland. He's waiting, exactly. 351 Cleveland's in the house. Catfish Bill 66 says, "What's up, y'all?" We got the Bud Files, of course, Dale Haysley.
Miss Becca Mudtramp.
Dale said, "I thought it was a boxing match."
So Dale's got some of them floats he ordered from me.
There you go.
Miss Becca
Mudtramp. Miss Becca Mudtramp says, "Hi, y'all." See, I almost said it perfectly like she does. Yeah. She's been in the process of moving. I can't remember exactly where she moved to, but
she's moving from Texas to Arkansas.
I started to say Arizona, but I knew that wasn't right. But so she's had her hands full lately.
Yep,
I'm sure.
Moving.
And if y'all noticed, we are on both channels tonight. So we are on K&B Anglers channel and my channel. So we're going to try to do this every week.
That's pretty neat.
Make sure you go to both channels and hit that thumbs up on both sides. So
there you go.
Oh, Miss Becca says she's not one of them.
Had one of his floats. Yeah, can't wait to use it.
They did the work, girl.
Yep.
And it is that season. It is that time of the season. We were discussing that earlier, where a lot of us go night fishing due to the heat and or the pleasure boaters out on our lakes.
Water temp is just about right for some nice, good flathead hunting.
There you go.
Fetish is in here.
Hunting. Yeah, Justin's fishing fetish. Howdy, y'all. Hunting down some nice flatheads is what I'm about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we'll get in a little more detail on some of that here in a few minutes. It ain't just for flatheads, guys. Them floats work great for blues. Mm-hmm. I probably lost my PB 2 Saturdays ago with one, and it is what it is. You can't weigh it if it ain't in the boat.
Nope,
this is true.
Absolutely. And then that's what we're going to talk about, because you mentioned that it's not also just for flatheads, it's also for blues, because we will talk about the versatile of the floats, because you do have two different kinds of floats to be able to use, not just a regular float, but a dragon float too.
Yes.
Kind of like a planer board, but it'll be a dragging float.
And I did not bring one of those up here. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I grabbed a pack of them. I'm sorry. But
you're good.
They pretty much, it's got planer board clips on them, so y'all pretty much know what a planer board clip is. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I think the ghost floats that I have the clips to them.
I might have sent you a set with clips on them when you got them.
I think I do.
And if we go before we get started. If you don't mind, guys, I'd like to give a few shout outs to some guys. There's a few people out there, guys, before we start talking about the floats, that really push my floats. Mm-hmm. And guys, they catch big fish, blues and flatheads. One of them is Junior Proctor, Blue Dog Catfish, and everybody knows Junior. He drags them. He is the one that got me to putting the planer board clips on them and created the dragon floats. He drags those things in between planer boards. What's up, catfishing? Chaos. Ain't that what the COS means?
Cause.
Okay. My bad, guy. And a guy called Paul Sturwald, Sturwold. Now, he don't have a YouTube channel. He is Facebook. he's a flathead murdering son of a gun right there.
Rico.
That rascal wears the flatheads out, and we'll discuss more of that as the show goes on. So, I just want to give those two guys because they really pushed my product, and I want to thank them up front. And James Burt, the guy who makes my custom rods. You seen the rods K&B, the first ones at my first tournament, the red, white, and blue rods.
It's a beautiful rod.
Guys, if you want a specific rod that's got your name on there the way that you want it, look up James Burt Custom Rods.
You shared the link on Facebook, and I actually went in there and looked at them. They are some good looking rods.
I'll tell you, if you ever put one of his rods in your hand, guys, you're gonna say, "Dang, where had that been all my life?" It's just it's that the action. It's fun with smaller fish, and it knows where to get its strength when you get the big fish. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it doesn't have that fast tip to it, like a lot of them will. So they don't get those false readings a lot of times. And
I mean, and it's and a rod. I guess I learned that from bass fishing. Everybody said, "Well, you got 10,000 rods." Not all the time. Each rod is a tool, and you need the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
Point being, when you're dragging planer boards, you need a little bit stiffer rod, but you need that tip to be able to bow just enough, but not completely load up.
That's right.
You don't need a broom handle out there, that's for sure. But
no,
just learn, guys and gals, learn what's in your toolbox.
There you go. I know I've gone out there with heavy. Was a Berkeley rod actually, and a heavy that was given to me, and I tell you what, it had good action to it. I actually enjoyed fishing with it. Matter of fact, I use it every so often, and everything. But I had a chance to. You're talking about whenever you had it at your tournament. I had a chance to actually hold it, and I like to jiggle it, so to speak, see what that action is going to be about, and I really like the action on those. They're to my liking, the way I like to fish.
Yeah. And James, I never met the man. He lives out in Kansas, and my very first YouTube tournament, he donated 2 $180 rods just for the veterans tournament, our YouTube tournament, knowing we was raising money, and he donated to my last tournament. That's just good people. That's just good people.
There you go.
So
I see Double Hook Angling's in the house. So
let's get right into some of the hard questions. What made you start making the floats? Even though I know there's floats out there, there's bobbers and stuff like that. What made you do that? Was it something you've already seen before, or what?
Well, the original was, that's back when I was doing tackle talk.
Yeah.
Down underneath my carport.
Yeah.
And I was doing some DIYs and stuff like that. And, and I've always been a float fisherman. Channel cats, because a lot of areas I like to fish around bridges and stuff that have so much debris down there. It's hard to fish that area. Even though there's fish there, it's hard to fish it without losing all your tackle.
Yeah.
Right.
And back then, mainly what I would do was free line, a swivel, a leader, and a hook, and throw it. I would throw it up and let it just kind of meander down through with the flow of the water. But still, you run that chance of it wrapping up in something down underneath the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's a natural presentation, I got thinking, well, float fishing probably comes about as natural as you're going to get it.
Yeah.
It's floating that piece of bait with as light of lead sinker as you can get away with. Some current, you might need to go a little bit heavier. So I made one, and trust me, them first ones, they was crap. I mean, I hate to say it, compared to what I got now, they was crap. And, and a couple guys wanted to buy some, but Backwoods Angling, Tina and, oh my God, I just went brain dead. What is his name? Oh no, he kayaks fish all the time. Him and his wife, Tina. I am
I know
so
you
sorry,
talking about, but I can't think of what it is. I can't
if
think of
you're
her
here
name.
listening tonight, I apologize. But Backwoods Angling, he contacted me. He said, "Won't you start making them?" I said, "Well, I showed y'all how to make them because I'm trying to share with y'all." He said, "No, make them and sell them." So there are actually the ones that got me into making the floats and selling them. And the first ones was just PVC. And then after I started making them, somebody said, "Well, them are just like Chris Flores floats." Well, I'd never seen the Flores floats. And Kevin, you know me long enough that I would never copy another man's product. I wouldn't. And you know, that's not who I am. So I figured out, you know, the very first ones didn't have a light on them. It was just the DIY ones with the bottle caps on them or whatever. And I used whatever bottle caps I could collect. But then me and Tracy got to be good friends. He come to my very first tournament, him and Ken, and I started using his lights in them on top. Well, Kelly, I got to thinking, you know, that works great. You can see that light even when the battery started going dim. You could still see that light on top. But my concern is they ain't a freaking one of us catfish anglers are easy on our equipment.
Nope.
We step on it, we kick it, we knock it around, and I was always worried that somebody would step on that light.
Yeah.
Well, the way I was putting them lights in there, if you busted the light, then that was a daytime float.
Yeah.
It was done. It was as far as the light, it was done. So, and then one night on my show, there's a bunch of great. What's up, Maurice? And Maurice, he's been a lifetime. He's been on here forever, and I thank him for all of his support.
That's right.
But one night on my show, I was showing some of the originals with the lights on the top. And somebody in chat, and I don't remember who it was, he said, "James, I wonder what happened if you stuck a light." They run off.
I'm still here.
Oh, he said, "I wonder what happened if you stick a light inside the pool noodle." I said, "Ding, ding, 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 ding." And I couldn't hardly shut my show down fast enough to go find out what would happen. And once I stuck that light up in there, like I said, all the rest is history. It changed my whole way of thinking about it. And really, you know, guys, I try to keep the price down as low as I can because I want everybody to float fish. And y'all have heard me, Kelly and Kevin, y'all have heard me say 1,000 times, I don't care what kind of float you use. Don't worry about what kind, just use it. Try it and see what happens. It will change the dynamics of the way you fish. It will put you in a different frame of mind because what have we been told our whole lives? Catfish are bottom feeders.
That's right.
And that stigma has stuck with catfishing even up to today. A lot of guys and gals will not float baits for catfish.
Right.
Well, summertime lake, does the Sinclair get a thermocline in it?
They do in certain areas, yeah.
Yeah. See, you can go over that thermocline a lot of times and you can see fish right over top of that thermocline.
Yep.
It's like a false bottom.
Yep.
How you gonna fish on the bottom for those fish?
You don't.
Nope.
The ones that actually catch there's any fish for that matter during the thermocline in that part of the lake, they if they're not running floats, they're suspend drifting. Yep.
They're suspend drifting.
Yep.
And you know, if you're fishing shallow water in that area, the fish will move away from your boat. Yep. And then they'll come back if there's something there that's bringing them back.
That's right.
And that's what Junior Proctor's running to. He's figured out when he got that new depth finder, he's seen the fish on that new depth finder, that Garmin, they pull away as he was coming up, even though he was using a trolling motor. But when those long line ghost floats come floating by, the fish was done back, and then all of a sudden, here comes two baits at them. And he'll tell you real quick, those floats sometimes will outfish all the other planer boards that he's got out.
I'll tell you what I did one time. I got a set of the blue ones from you. The first ones you made.
Right.
And matter of fact, I got a video of us doing it. Pop and I were out there at the catfish pond that we like to go fishing at, and there was just enough wind to push those, floats, and we would actually cast way out into the wind as far as we could, of course, with into the wind as you can, and then we just let them float through. And man, we hooked. Our ratio was crazy that day, and because it was just a perfect flow through, and they would hit it, bam, and once they hit it, I mean, it almost like helped with the hookup, I believe, because there's that buoyancy, so it. They hit it real hard, and that hook just chink, better than a regular float does.
And that's what I because I used those big long pencil floats for a long time, and they work great. I'm not knocking them. And actually, that you have a little bit more castability with those. Simply, they don't catch as much wind.
That's right.
But you are restricted as far as daytime fishing unless you want to tape, a glow stick to it.
Right. Exactly.
But what I found out is that we use circle hooks, or I know some guys, they changed over and went to that hybrid hook that's you can either set the hook or use it as a circle hook.
Right. Yeah.
They call it something. I forget what they call them. But anyway, you can do it either way.
Octopus hook?
No.
That's not the octopus. It's the
offset, isn't it?
It's an offset type hook, but
it ain't quite a circle hook.
No.
So otherwise, you can still if you want to stick the metal to him, you can.
Right.
Which I still miss. I miss partner freaking eyeballs. But anyway, guys, don't think that floats are just for boats, bank fishing, just like Kevin just said at that pond.
Yep.
And people say, well, I can't use them in the river. Let me tell you guys, I got a guy that uses it. He fishes off the bank. That's all he does. He uses it like Junior uses the dragon floats.
There it is. It's double action hook or the triple threat hooks. Triple threat hooks are the ones that I know.
Right there. Double action or triple threats.
Yeah, I've got a couple of triple threats myself.
What he does is he sets them up just like you would behind planer boards. You drift and wait. Your leader, whatever, and it's basically like a Kentucky rig with a drift and weight on it. Basically, what it is.
Yep.
And he'll put that float on there, and what he'll do, he will throw it way upriver and let that float act as the boat, and it drags that bait down the water. All right. If it's moving too fast, he'll change the drift and sinker to a little bit heavier drift and sinker to slow it down. Or if it's moving too slow, he'll go lighter weight on it. And he's murdering the freaking fish. He is absolutely murdering because he's covering water. He'll put out some bank poles on the bottom, and then he'll throw this way out past it. Stick his rod straight up, but the other rods are kind of laying down, so his line don't get caught up. He don't get tangled up in his other lines.
Right.
And he's covering water.
Yep.
And plus, he can find holes doing that way. If you use my small ones, they might lay a little bit as the current's pulling them. They might lay it down a little bit. Well, if your bait and your weight drops into a hole, guess what's going to happen? It's going to pull that float up a little bit.
Right.
What does that tell you? There's a hole right there.
Yep. And I've got a place out on the river, the local place that I can go to on the river when it's not up above the banks, that is, that I would love to be able to get down there with those floats and do exactly what you're talking about. Because it has at certain times of the year, it has just enough flow that I can cast it way up river and do just that. And then as it gets on down there, closer to where the bend is, of course, I have to reel it in, so I have to be on my toes. But I'm curious as to how that's going to work out for that particular area.
Yeah, and I tried it, and y'all seen pictures where I had went down below the dam on Lake Wild. Too many big boulders in there. The problem was my drifting weight was dropping into those big cracks and getting hung.
Right.
I lost 6 floats that day. Somebody down in Rock Hill's getting them, but they might be out in the Pacific Ocean now or Atlantic Ocean or whatever.
Yeah, somebody didn't pick them up already. Yeah.
I was going to say somebody didn't pick them up.
But I tried that. It can be a rocky bottom, but if you're in big boulders, you might have a problem because there's a V somewhere in that rock and it's going to hang. I mean, it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But if you're running them with the planer board clips, you might have an opportunity to get it back. Depends on where your line breaks.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Now, and the one thing to go with the floats, a lot of people don't think about is that the float stop, that little piece of
the bobber stopper.
The bobber stopper that
Yeah.
you send with yours. But
Yes.
I mean, you could go to Walmart, you can go any fishing tackle place, and you can buy a package of them that's got multiple in them in case you run out of them.
That's right.
And look for the ones. Fill the line of them. Open that pack. Some of that line is slick. Mm-hmm. It don't hold good, especially if you're throwing bigger weight. If you have to throw a heavier sinker under it.
That's right.
When it hits that water, that float holds so much resistance that it can slide the bobber stops. The ones I use are more of a cottony feel.
Yeah.
Now, once you get them in place, they a little bit tough to move.
Right.
And you don't want to stick your fingernail in it because you'll start kinking your line up. But they a little bit tough to move, but they'll stay put. I just grab my beads and use my beads to pull it.
Yeah.
I wished I could find the larger beads with the smaller hole in them, but they're nowhere on the market. I've looked and looked and looked. Went to every freaking craft store, every craft site online. So you have to use 2 beads, guys. Sorry about that, but that's just the nature of the beast.
Yep.
I'm going to address that with my buddy Chris here at Hubcap Point Outdoors. He has some rattling floats that he uses and or creates and everything. And slime seekers, they're called slime seekers. They're really good. I use them myself, and plus he's doing some things to bring on some merch, some more merch, to for those out there wanting it. So that might be a good thing for you there, Chris, to address. Get the bigger beads with the smaller holes. Could be something for you, buddy.
Yep.
What's up, Dink? What's up, everybody?
Dink.
A lot of great people in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people in here watching. I know they just ain't in chat.
Which is fine. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, share it out.
Yes.
Miss Becca's already been posting the link for the Facebook page for the floats and James's YouTube page. So make sure you go there and hook that up. Also, again, me and Kevin are running the show on both channels. So make sure you do go to both channels and make sure you give a thumbs up on both sides.
Yes.
It will definitely
we certainly would
out.
appreciate that.
Yep. Also,
if you'll notice the banner going across the screen tonight, the Patriot's customfloats.com. That's where you can go and actually purchase the ghost floats. They're from James, and so make sure to go check that out. It's a nice looking website. I like the outlay of it.
Yeah, it's before I had an introduction and all that stuff in there, and we got noticing people want to scan right past that. They don't read. They don't want to read. They want to go straight to the merchandise. And so we changed it up. And, of course, I had to change it up. I had to renew everything. So, but, it's
the website's really nice.
Guys and gals, I don't care if you tie a Coke bottle on your line. Give it a try. And, I mean, if you don't get excited by going out there brim fishing with a real little red and white float, chasing brim and see that little float just take off. If you don't still get excited, you need to find another hobby.
Yep.
Would you look at who stepped? Would you look at who stepped into the house?
Lord have mercy. A head of cabbage. What's up, Irvin?
Mr. Irvin, the paid tourist. I don't know if he's out on the road tonight or not, but it's been a long time since I've seen him.
He's some of the old OG too.
That's right. That's right.
We got a few of them in here.
Definitely.
So we know, we talked about going, use them on the boats. We talked about, from the bank, of course, and how you can utilize them in the rivers from the bank. But you can also, per Junior Proctor, you can also use those to drag baits with, along with your planer boards. Would you use the larger ones for that, or would you use the smaller ones?
He uses the mediums with about 1.5 ounces dragon weights that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
If I can ever get slowed down, I might start making them to sell actually with the floats. But anyway, what it is basically the same thing as this, guys, except it's got a planer board clip on here with this. And sorry, this ain't the right one. But originally he uses the mediums, which is these right here. And he's went to the largers because he's putting out so long a line. He's putting out his planer boards, and then he's putting 2 floats straight out the back of the boat, and he long lines them. He's setting them up just like he sets up his planer boards.
Yeah,
I got you.
The dragon weights on there. Everything is set up exactly like the planer boards. He even puts them out the same. He'll throw that line out and let it drag behind the boat for a little bit. Then he'll take this clip, and if you'll look, if I can find the camera, if you'll look at that clip,
yeah,
you got to do is pop it on your line.
Right on.
It pops right on.
Yeah.
And dadgummit, I done dropped a piece off of it. And he put the planer board clips on there. Okay, I found it. You can't see the green float. That's my invisible float.
The invisible float.
But they come now is a little bitty piece of black tubing, and it'll be slid up. It'll be slid up like that. Well, when you pop it on your line, just slide that tube back down. Because some of them old catfish, especially them smaller, younger ones, they'll fling that head like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it might fling it off. I ain't saying it will, but that tubing will keep it from flinging off your line. But anyway, there'll be a planer board clip on there. You clip this on first, and then you clip your planer board clip on. After you let it go out as far as you want to, you clip it on, and then he long lines it. He lets it go way out. And he's told me that he seems to think that the larger floats, your line will be here, and then it's going down into the water. Your float's up here.
Yeah.
He thinks that he gets a better hookup ratio because they don't feel that rod right off the get-go.
Right.
They got to pull that slack down. Well, that larger float with that much resistance, without really putting too much, will take that circle hook and start turning it in his mouth. And once he gets turned and he feels that rod, it's too late then.
Yeah.
And he said his hookup ratio went out the roof by doing that.
Kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier with going out to the catfish pond, and throwing them back into the wind and letting it draw when they grab that, because I was using circle hooks out there, little small,
that's what I use.
4 circle hooks, and so it gives just enough resistance that I think that hook gets them hooked before they know it, and then you just bring them on in.
Yeah,
it's almost like cheating in a way, but hey, I like that kind of cheating.
And, Junior catches blues. He catches big blues. I think the largest that's come on my floats in the blues is like 76 pounds. That's a big fish on a float. I don't give a crap. That's a big fish on a float.
I'm pretty sure that float disappeared.
And Junior loves them. And, Paul, he's a flathead fisherman. He chases those big flatheads. And he's got different techniques, depends on where he's at, for using the floats. Kentucky rig and Carolina rig, guys. Those are the 2 mainstays for the floats. Is the Kentucky rig or the Carolina rig.
There you go.
With that, not the Santee rig.
Right. Because
I imagine you could, in certain circumstances, you could, if you wanted your bait suspended straight up and down and you wanted that bait up away from everything.
Right.
But that's a lot of stuff to be throwing out.
Yeah. A lot of stuff to get tangled up.
Okay. Well, this technique, exactly right. But the technique I'm getting ready to speak about is something that can be used off the bank or, what's up, squirrel?
What's up, squirrel?
Or off a boat. And it's in running water in a river circumstances. Junior goes down to the Santee River section sometimes. And what he'll do is he'll start down at the lower part of the river, and as he's going up, he's scanning. And when he finds structure, he'll go on past that structure and spot lock, or you can anchor up. It don't matter.
Right.
And then he'll take those planter board clips, instead of putting the line behind that little pin that locks it in, he puts it in front of it. So basically what he's using is that float to position his baits. He'll let that float go back to where he figures that structure is, and then he'll pop that line. And basically, once he pops the line, the float ain't doing nothing but riding up and down his line. He don't have a bobber stop on it. It's just riding. That's all it's doing. What's up, Kentucky?
What's up, Jim?
Speaking of OG.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there's so many techniques, guys. And, I'm learning more techniques every day. Some of them I haven't even got to try. But I see the proof of the work, how they work. Proof's in the pudding. Ain't that what they say? Proof's in the pudding.
Proof's in the pudding. Exactly. Exactly. You know what we did? You know what we hadn't done, Kelly?
What?
We haven't got the word of the day.
Oh, we have not. And my child is home. Yep.
So
we're still waiting we were still waiting on somebody to come in for the word of the day, and I don't think they've showed up yet.
No, they haven't. Well, we actually was going to make that part of chat. Word, any particular word that, and it can't be a common word. We was going to ask the chat to actually throw a word out there that
we have to guess exactly what the meaning of is, but it's not a common word.
It's not a common word. It's not a common word. So if we want to do that, you guys throw out some words out there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Well, you know better than ask Jim to say something like that, because they ain't no telling what Jim's gonna come up with. Yeah, Irvin, it's an OG night tonight.
That's right. We'll wait for a few more words. Ostentation. Now I've heard of that one. I don't remember what it means, but I've heard of it.
Mayonnaise level.
Do what?
That's another one above the mayonnaise level.
Let's go with ostentation tonight. Let's go with that. Where's Sky? Tell Sky she's got to look it up and come present it.
Right back. Let me find her real quick.
Go find her right quick.
That's gonna make my head hurt. All those big
words. So spatch, according to Jim, spatchcock, is an actual cooking term. My brother probably would know that. Oh man, Squirrel, you put that one in at the wrong moment, dude. Insouciant. Okay, your try, Kelly. We might try and do that one instead. I don't know. Let's do both of them. Let's do both words.
Insouciant.
Insouciant. Okay, that sounds better.
Ostentation.
And ostentation. I started to say Austin Powers. All right. Hey, Sky. So Sky is going to present us with the word of the day. Well, actually, the words of the day.
The meaning of the word of the day, but yeah.
Meaning of the word of the day. She's busy consulting her, her I don't know what she's doing.
She's Googling it.
She's Googling it.
She's Googling. Yeah. She's like, it's called Google.
It's called look it up.
I don't think it has sushi in it.
In sushi. What? That don't even look like insouciant.
Insouciant.
Yeah. I like insouciant. That sounded better.
Deponing the chicken or other bird for even cooking.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Jim. Is that what that word means that you put out there? Spatchcock.
No, we're not doing the other one. No.
No, don't do that. Hey, take a redneck. What's up, buddy? Oh, have we got it yet, Sky? Wait,
she's got
Sky doesn't have her consultant with her right now. What's going on?
What? She don't have her what?
You're using her consultant.
I know.
Google.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
And what does this mean?
Display.
I didn't hear you.
Excessive display.
I heard this something.
Excessive display.
Ah, yes, ostentatious.
Yep.
Now that's yes. Okay. Now the second word, which we're being told is called insouciant.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Although it doesn't look nor smell like fish.
No. But it doesn't act like fish.
And doesn't act like a fish.
There's
Hey, but you know,
redneck.
you
Oh, there it is.
she can't see it.
And don't forget tonight, guys, we'll have the shout out, the Wednesday night shout out.
Spotlight of the week.
Yeah, spotlight of the week. So we'll definitely have that. So definitely hang around for that one too, Emily.
How many we got in chat? I can't see it on my
15.
side. 15.
I'm looking at 15. Yep.
Guys, share this up. Get them out there, because we are going to discuss some good information that will help you increase your catch rate. I guarantee that. If you'll just try it. I'm listening.
Lighthearted unconcern.
Insouciant.
Lighthearted unconcern. So there's your words
Okay.
of the week.
I just got a text from Jim. He's giving me the meaning behind and the correct way to pronounce it. I was pronouncing it correctly, spatchcock.
It's just saying the word just as bad.
I know, right? But it does mean a chicken or game bird split open and grilled.
Yeah, that's what he was saying here. It says
That's what he was saying there. Yeah,
deboning a chicken or other bird for even cooking.
That's right.
It's just the word. Just the word is bad.
Let's see. Squirrel says people who eat sushi seem happy and unconcerned about getting sick. Insouciant, happily unconcerned. I like that.
Yeah. I don't eat no sushi, but yeah.
So okay, here's where the cool kids hang out. Oh yeah,
That's right.
This is like the reason why it's called the Wednesday nights main event. This is where you need to be if you want to learn any good information that'll help you on your fishing, because this is where it's going to be at.
James, were we going to do what we were talking about earlier before we got started?
We're going to wait, weren't we?
I don't know. Were we? James, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He forgot already.
Hey, y'all the one riding this goat. I'm just holding it by its horns.
Squirrel says he doesn't eat sushi either.
Raw fishing for fishing.
Now here's mine. Have you heard anybody using your floats when? I know a lot of people use floats for pan fishing and things like that to float worms. Have you heard anything about bigger fish outside of catfish?
Well, yes. And it'll be coming out in about 2 weeks. Week and a half, 2 weeks. If you noticed the other day, I put up a little hint. A big fish with a float in its mouth.
Yes.
Drop a hint. Mr. Melhorn will be every day dropping a video. So be looking for it, guys. Be looking for it. Sharks love Patriot floats. I'll just send you there.
I might actually get a chance to try that one out myself here in the near future.
Also, I got a couple guys that's working with them right now down in Texas that are using them for alligator gar.
Ooh.
And I've got one up north that is going to start using them for muskie. Because they use the big round floats up there for muskie. Also, Dieter talks is that great for redfish down out there in the ocean. What do they call them? Are they red snapper or?
Yeah, red snapper.
Yeah, you got snappers. Yeah.
See, there's where I was talking about. I was thinking that there's largemouth, because there's a lot of big largemouth out there, and putting one of your smaller ones on it, one of the small floats,
There's a Wampus cat in there. He must have got a break.
What's up, Wampus?
Yeah. Actually,
I may have to try my smaller ones on out at the bass pond using my unconventional methods of catching bass and
red drum. I'm sorry.
Red
Didn't
drum.
mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Red drum. That's murder backwards, but
Yeah, if I didn't get brain dead so fast, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's why I shouted it out as soon as I seen it. Sorry about that, Kevin.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, the smaller ones would be great. The tinies would be perfect for big giant bass minnows.
Yep. I have to try that out and do some videos of that because that's something I can do local, so I don't have to worry about going to the lake with that.
Well, Shane off of what was that the guy to give us all the hats, him and his wife give us all the hats, Shane Owensby.
Yeah.
He caught I think it's about 8 or 9 pound largemouth. He had a live bluegill out catfishing, and a big old largemouth grabbed it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So, that might be worth doing some videos of.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what's up, Sappy?
Sappy's in the house. Hello.
And then we talked about this before the show. Don't be afraid to put weight underneath of it. You said the large floats will hold about a pound.
Yeah. Now, when I put up there's a picture that's got the different ounces of weight for each float. What I done is I consider it fishable weight. Mm-hmm. Now it'll hold these are large. They'll hold a pound, but that pound's going to have the water up to about right here on it.
I got you.
That's really not fishable weight. You understand what I'm saying? So I say these is about 13 ounces because anything over that is really not fishable. I mean, how many people's got a rod that can throw at 13 ounces of lead and the bait? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the only thing I can think is if you're in a lot of current, but you want to use a float because you're fishing around structure,
right?
That's what I'm thinking is like you're wanting to put a lot of weight on there to be able to leave it and have it sitting there in that structure, even though there's current flowing like crazy.
That's right.
Well, that's and there's another one out there. He makes a heck of a rod holder. Real good Christian guy. I'll shout him out, but not really because he uses them during tournament time. But he actually bumps and runs floats at the same time. He will let the floats out. He'll completely stop his boat in the current, let his floats go all the way out with bumping sinkers or drifting sinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Then he'll start setting his speed. Well, guess what the float's doing? It's moving at the same speed as the boat. Going back.
Yep.
So these floats are actually bumping his baits down behind the boat. So instead of having one rod in the water, now he's got 3.
There you go.
Nice.
Justin was saying that he runs 3 ounces under his floats and they cast pretty good. He says he's got a few rods that can throw 13 ounces of weight. Yeah. So I think we have a few rods like that ourselves, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, it's all, I got a buddy that he likes finding those suspended fish on the river channels.
Mm-hmm.
And how to know if you ever get out there and the hot of the summer, those fish suspend a lot. Even though there might not be a thermocline, they will suspend on the river channel at ledges.
Yeah.
Well, if that fish is suspended right here along this river channel ledge, you can't put a bait right there unless you suspend it straight underneath your boat. So what he does is once he marks those fish, he might throw out one of those marker buoys or set it on his depth finder. They can mark the feet on some of the depth finders.
Right.
He'll go way up above that, set his spot lock, and then he'll drop his floats off the side at the depth that he needs them and just let the current carry them right down that channel edge. They'll run right down that channel edge, and once they get back where he wants them, he'll lock them in gear, and he'll pull them off of that channel edge. There's just so many different techniques. It's blowed my freaking mind at what people have told me. And it ain't just for shallow water fishing, guys and gals. 2 weeks ago, I done good in shallow water. I mean, that 27-pound flathead made my day. He come on about 11-inch shad, gizzard shad. I don't think we can throw too big of baits. I don't.
Nope.
Justin over here making me hungry.
That's exactly what I was about to do. I was about to highlight it. It never fails. You start talking fishing, and inevitably the food
Somebody's
comes
talking about
some food.
cooking. Yeah.
Yeah,
We know how good Justin cooks too. So
exactly, we definitely know how good Justin cooks. Before we get into our spotlight of the night, I want to give a quick shout out. And if you guys hadn't already seen him, it's been all over Facebook. Just recently, Micah Burkhart caught a 122-pound blue cat, and which was the Tennessee state record. I actually have a picture of it, but I can't. I'm not as good as you are, Bullock, about pulling them pictures up. I was going to show it on the screen, and I just can't. That's what I was doing while I was listening, and I can't get it to pull up on the screen.
See if I can pull it up.
I might be able to do it this way.
This technology doesn't change so much. If I'd start showing back up, I'd be lost.
I believe this is it right here. Nope, this is from that's the wrong one.
Hey, I tell you what. Hold on just a minute. I think I might be able to do it. Let me see if I'm right. Nope. Try again. Lord have mercy. Oh gosh. I was wanting to pull that picture. Oops.
While you trying to figure that out tonight, if y'all don't mind, guys, we're gonna give a pack of floats away.
So we are going to do that.
Y'all figure out how you want to do that. But it's gonna be what I call the Try Me pack. And that's a medium and a large.
There you go.
Medium and a large, orange or pink.
I finally got it where I can. Well, here's Bullock. Oh wait, before you do that, Bullock.
Well, I'll go ahead and let them get started.
Yeah, those of you in chat, go ahead and hashtag Ghost Float. Make sure that you put the capital G and the capital F. Otherwise,
you don't have to.
Not take it. Oh, really? Okay,
nope.
Never mind.
It's not case sensitive.
Okay, I know at one time it was.
Yeah. No.
So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to show this fish. Look at that big old mama jama right there. Now that's a hoss right there.
That fish is dead, ain't it?
Actually, no. A lot of people thought it was because of the way it was laying and everything. They actually released that back healthy into the water, and it swam off just as pretty as you please.
Good.
And I was kind of hoping that they did that myself, and there were several people there that actually saw that happen. And unless, and we know this has happened before, unfortunately, over in there in North Carolina,
days after it ends up dying. Yep.
Yeah, but hopefully that fish will be strong enough and hardy enough to go ahead and live another day.
He had it in a big size tank before he put it on the table there. He did.
Yeah, he had I mean, obviously he's been doing this enough. He's like a pro, you might say, where he knows what he's doing about these fish. So but a lot of people thought the same thing that you did, James, as I did when I first saw that picture, that it was a shame that fish had to die to be able to get weighed in. However, it was assured and corroborated that fish did live another day. But that's a heck of a fish right there.
And don't get me wrong, guys. It's going to happen. Sometimes there ain't nothing we can do about it. But I think the larger the fish, and this is just my opinion, that's like other things that we all have. It's
wrong spelling, Jim. Come on.
He got it in, but he put it in ghost farts.
Yeah, but to me, once those big fish come up out of that water and actually feel the full weight of gravity and stuff, I think it's kind of rough on them. I do. I mean, that's one of them times I'd have to go back in the water right then. To me,
I know. I've been to a few tournaments where some big fish. I mean, I'm talking like 60, 70, 80-pound fish were caught, and they weighed them in, but they had to put them over into those tanks before they could release them back to see if they would live. And matter of fact, it was the winner of the what's the name? They've changed it now over on Santee Cooper. That they have every March. But anyways, the one that we went to in 19 before they changed the name and everything, they actually had I think it was a 70-something pounder, which was a winning fish, and that was actually up for grabs because they didn't know if that fish was going to survive, and I think it took a couple of days for it to finally get revived enough to be put back in. Squirrel says, I bought some planer board clips to go on the floats I got from you there, James. He says, I'm a suspend for catfish and crappie. That sounds like a plan right there. I didn't even think about crappie. And,
you can do that. And hopefully, that once I can get to where I can mass produce these type of caps that I'm going to, guys and gals, that I will be able to sell the caps.
Yeah.
Separately. So if you already got the floats, you can buy the caps. See,
leave it to Jim to change the whole name of
I think Jim needs to go to bed.
Apparitions suspended. Hey, there you go. Think says these would work awesome on the yak. That would be a good video.
Oh yeah,
sure would.
Got a lot of people that use them on kayaks.
There you go. So,
well, you seen Jesse? What, 4 weeks ago, down there on the Catawba River, Jesse put that 109-pound in his kayak.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I did see that. Yeah, it was 109. I showed you that picture.
How the heck there you go. You pull a fish that big up in a kayak with you?
Very, very carefully.
Yeah,
I'd have to drag him to the bank and get him up.
Oh yeah.
Whoops. I'm gonna give you a consolation prize later on, Jim, just for you, buddy.
You get some emojis. You get some emojis after the show.
Funny story. That crazy Jim, he got some of my original floats.
Yeah,
the very originals. He was out there. He put them floats on and threw them out there. Of course, Jim throws probably about 100 ounces of weight on his lines.
I remember the story.
They hit the water and everything. Jim went to reel down because he thought he had a fish because the float was going across the water. His line was on the bottom, but that float wasn't nowhere to be found. It just kept right on going. It wasn't even attached. It popped the whole bottom out of it. I thought, oh, man, Jim, I am so sorry. Both of them done the same thing. But I didn't know.
That was the prototype.
Started.
Irvin says he needs 4 of the lights.
That's what it was.
Yep. Irvin says he needs 4 of the lights. Says 4 of his lights fell apart. He shouldn't have been
Irvin,
screwing them too tight.
You need to call me tomorrow.
Speaking of prototypes,
you got to screw them back together with new batteries in them, Irvin.
Exactly. Did you get? Oh, there you go. Did you get your pontoon fishing boat finished?
No, it's actually up for sale. Somebody wants it. I still just fish off my other pontoon. I ain't got time to even mess with that thing no more. So
I know how
it's
that
a
is.
20-foot boat with a 150 Yamaha sitting on it and a third tune to go under it, and all the wood and all to go in it with brand new controls for the Yamaha motor. And I'll take 5 for it.
There you go.
That's what I got. I actually got more than that in it, but I'll take 5 for it. Great project boat for somebody.
So you want to go ahead and run that
boat?
So what?
You couldn't turn it into a dredge boat?
That's actually the reason I bought the cotton picking thing.
That's what I thought you did.
Make a big gold dredge out of it. Yeah, but I think all those millionaires on Wiley would probably start shooting at me when the water starts smelling like daggum mussel bed, rotten, just
BQ's in the house. Says, where you at?
Yeah, he wants to know where you're at, so he might be interested in that boat.
There you go. I'm in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, about 30 miles west of Charlotte.
You can find him on Facebook, either under Patriot James or under James Smith. If you want to get a hold of him that way. Also, if you have not already put in hashtag, throw it back up again, Kelly, hashtag Ghost Floats for the giveaway. Go ahead and put that in now. Ooh, my big old head. Go ahead and put that in now. I think we're going to be giving that away here in the next 2 minutes.
20 people in the house. Let's get those entries in, guys.
Yeah,
that's right.
8 entries. We got 20 people watching.
There's P&B.
There you go, P&B. Paul, how's it going, buddy?
Yep.
Yeah, call me
hashtag Ghost Floats in, guys. Come on.
It's only about an 8-hour drive, BQ. Ask Justin, he'll tell you. Justin's Fishing Fetish.
Urban says AA batteries, right?
No.
Oh, yeah. Put AA batteries in them, Urban.
They're watch batteries.
It's the hearing aid batteries.
Yeah. That's the one that blew up on you, Irvin. You can't. You can't.
he's putting those AAAs in there.
No doubt, Irvin. You know good and well I can't warranty stuff like that. You know, if that's what do they call that? See, I'm brain dead tonight. User's fault. I can't warranty that. You know.
Irvin's trying to.
We'll get you straightened out.
Irvin's trying to pull a dock off of Back to the Future and give it more power.
Yeah, no doubt. He probably hooked it up to his car battery.
Yeah, there you go. More juice.
I hear you, Justin.
Oh my God. I mean, if we had a mirror, that might work there, Jim. Oh my God.
And the thing is that he actually took the time to make sure it was right.
Yeah,
I know, right? That's what I was looking at that. I mean, it's perfect. It's got the capital F and the capital G. I mean, everything's there. With a mirror, it would work perfectly. Yeah, Justin's been trying to get Stephanie to give him permission to buy a lake house out there on Wiley, so he can spend half his time on Wiley and half his time in Ohio.
Well, there's your pontoon. Just making it a houseboat.
There you go.
Oh, dear me, getting close on it, Justin.
Got my mouth watering just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kelly, let's go ahead and run it. We got our 2 minutes is up. If you haven't got them in, I hate it for you guys. Let's run it. See who gets the starter pack. $922 Crappie BBQ.
Yep.
Get in touch with either James or I or Kelly.
Yeah, we can get you
and
easily.
We'll get you in the right direction of being able to get those from James.
Yes, sir.
And for everybody that participated, we appreciate your participation.
Yep.
What say we go ahead and run our spotlight for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely need to do our spotlight.
Let me go ahead and pull that up right quick. Guys, every week we're going to be doing a spotlight shout out of the for the week, and tonight's, as he is showing you right here, double hook angling. Let's run that bean footage. Here we go. And there you are.
That's pretty cool.
Double hook angling spotlight of the week.
Yep, Mr. David Lemon. Him and his son Gregory do a lot of crappie fishing. David does a show every Friday morning. Does a little jig tying and some coffee. So definitely look out for him on Friday mornings.
BQ says he ties some awesome jigs.
He does.
Which I have seen that. And he says, I
buddy
watch when I
Freddie
can
in the
learn
house.
more. Oh, Freddie, what's up, buddy? Pouring
Freddie's in
lead
the
for Dragon
house.
Weights. Make sure you're wearing your good face mask there, buddy. You know.
So each week we'll be doing a spotlight. So just be looking out for that. So each week we'll have a different one.
There you go.
Definitely.
All right.
And definitely want to say appreciate Mr. Patriot James himself for coming on and hanging out with us, definitely, and helping sponsor the show for us.
Appreciate
definitely.
Well, guys, I thank you. I mean, at least the people know that I'm still around. I ain't done fell off the map and hanging around. And anytime you need a guest or somebody to come in here, jump in, I don't mind one bit, guys. We don't have to talk about floats. We can talk about anything.
Yep. This is true.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
So what we got going on next week there, Kelly? I'm gonna let you. I'm saying, seeing as how that you're the one that pulled this particular talent, why don't you tell us what we got going this next week?
I will. Let me pull up his thumbnail real quick. And
while you're doing that, I'm gonna highlight something right quick.
Go for it.
Chris is wanting to know what size hole you need for those beads there, James.
I don't know, tiny, big enough for a 30-pound to 40-pound test line to go through.
There you go.
If it's any bigger than that, it'll slide over the knot. That's why, I'm stuck with using 2 beads.
Yep.
Freddie, I'll call you tomorrow.
You saw that there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I plan on being there. There's still some doctor stuff we're waiting on before I make that final decision, but I plan on being there. Definitely plan on being there.
Justin's wanting to know, when is that, Freddie?
August 11th and 12th. Yep.
August 11th, 12th.
Pigeon Forge. That's going to be a good show.
I may actually have to take a trip down there. Definitely.
It's growing. Yeah, it's growing. So,
I mean, it's only 2.5, 3 hours from me, so I may have to take the trip down there and just to
good
hang
place
out.
for the family. It's nice. It's clean. It's a good. I mean, you got Dollywood not far from it. There's just so much to do up there. And if the family don't want to come hang out with you at the catfish conference or catfish thing,
they got anything.
Send them out on the town.
Oh yeah.
Well, Justin was saying he thinks he's going to be there.
Down there a few weeks back, so.
I would love to be able to go, but my funds are limited this year on any kind of traveling. I've got one trip I've already got planned, and I'm making that trip for sure, because that's going to be a tournament trip over there on Wiley.
Well, can I show one last thing about the floats before we run?
Go for it.
You sure can. Go for it.
Yep, go for it.
It won't take me but a second. Now, you won't be able to see the green float. That's my invisible floats. But that's the one that's on. The original, you remember, not the original, but the ones I was selling.
Yeah.
Got the light in the cap itself. And you just turn it on and stick it in. The new style, you open up the cap, ain't nothing in it. Just the cap. The light's actually inside the float. You just reach in there, turn the float, and the light's on.
Awesome.
Simple as that. If you need to change the batteries, you just pull the light out of it, put the batteries in it, stick it back in, and you're ready to roll.
I love the sound effects.
Yeah, it goes.
So I'm trying to make it dummy proof as much as I can.
It's free.
Easier for me to make. Easier for y'all to use.
It makes it, and apparently it makes it waterproof because it goes.
Oh yeah,
and Jim goes, turn it on and stick it in.
Yeah, he does.
But guys, I enjoyed it tonight. Everybody, I appreciate all your support, because most of you that's in chat already have floats. Either you won them or you bought them, and you've supported my channel since day one when I started my shows and stuff. And I do want to thank each and every one of you. And I miss you guys. So Kelly and Kevin, thank you for asking me to come on and hang out with everybody, especially a lot of the OGs that was in here tonight.
There you go.
It was a blessing. So God bless y'all.
I have to say, BQ, when have we not went south at some point?
Yeah, I gotta say, almost every show has went south somewhere.
No matter what we do, it goes. But then it goes.
As long as it don't go north, we good.
Yes.
Speaking of that, definitely. For next week, we have an awesome guest, and James knows exactly who it is. So, Mr. Joe Jellison himself from Chat Cats.
We will be having a live conversation with old Joe.
Yep.
Good to see you too, Justin.
Yep. So we'll have Joe on the show. We'll be talking to him for a little bit and talking about his gosh, I can't even. His guide service.
I was gonna say his guide service.
Guide service. I just yeah.
Yeah, you had one of those float ghosts.
Senior moments.
Freddie is saying that the Pigeon Forge Expo is August 11th and 12th.
Yep.
If you haven't already made plans to go and you want to go, please, by all means, look it up and go. Yep. I would love to go. Even your name of Joe's like, I want to go. So I don't know if it would be possible, but it'd be awesome.
You still got over a month to go.
That is Friday and Saturday.
I know. Friday and Saturday,
Yeah.
So definitely be here next week. Like I said, it's going to be on both channels. We've got him coming on. And do you want to kind of mention who we got after that one? Because I mean, it's already
up and running.
It's already up and running.
So we will have the following week Dave all over, Mr. David Arnold. He will be our guest for that week. And then I've got a few more between me and Kelly. We have been really working our behonks off. We are actually booked through September right now.
Good.
And
we're working all the way to September 27th is our next open date right now.
Yep. Justin, I would love to come hang with you, no doubt.
Yeah.
We've got I've got one more I didn't send you that I've got on October right now. So October's starting to fill up pretty quick as well.
Nice. So, and we got some big names. We got some pretty good guys. Some good information coming in. Like we got Chat Cats coming in. Joe Jellison to talk about the guide service, the fishing on the Tennessee River. We got Dave all over. He's going to give us a in-depth talk about fishing. And I literally told him the floor is open to whatever you want to discuss.
There you go.
You never know what he's going to discuss because if you've not seen his channel, he's got some very, very good information about fishing, catfishing, definitely. Right. Their habits, their feeding habits, how everything. I mean, it's just like very in depth. So that's going to be
done his homework.
He has. He really has done his homework for somebody that's not a huge channel. Because he's not really that big of a huge channel, but I mean, he's got a lot of information. He knows his stuff.
That's right.
Do you want to give away? Because it's pretty much set in stone, isn't it, for your guest?
For the which one? For the fall? For the next week?
No, for the one after that.
Oh, the one. Okay, so you're talking about the one after the following week.
After Dave, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people may not know who this is, and then again, they may not. They may know who this is. He's got a great channel. He started out with fishing, mostly bass fishing at the time. Mm-hmm. He got into where he was actually got into diving and everything, and he actually will take in help families to find closure. He will go out there and he will find if it's been suspected that they may have went off into a body of water and perished that way. He will go in and actually hunt and find
vehicles and stuff like that. Yeah, rescue, recover the vehicles and stuff.
That's right. The name of that channel is Chaos Divers. It's Mr. Jacob Grubbs, and really good guy. I got to know him through TK Heaven. Those of you that may know TK Heaven, I got to know him through him, and and he's just a really good guy. And he got in with another group, and I can't think of that group's name to save my life, but they also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And they started doing that, and he has helped along with this other group. He has helped a lot of people to find closure.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot about the equipment, and that's the biggest thing we're going to talk about with him is the equipment that he uses, the electronic he uses to what we call, for us, find structure. For him, it's finding vehicles and other things that's under the water. So that's our information to bring it back to the catfish community, is how he uses live scope, side scan, things like that to find his structures that he's looking for, the vehicles. But we're going to use it, we're going to use it for structure for us for fishing. So
because he's using the same equipment. So, we're going to be talking about that. I can't say anything at the moment because he hasn't had anything confirmed, but he's got hopefully he'll have some really good news when that comes about, that I think is going to be, something we can talk about. And I agree, Jim. This channel is sad in some, in some cases, because, you don't ever want to lose a loved one. No. And when you do, you really don't want to see that they've perished in that way a lot of times. And it is a sad channel to watch, but I tell you what he does for those families is really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And everything.
Well, you need closure, because not knowing would drive you nuts.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And that's what
a lot of these are 15, 20 years down the road to where
cold cases. Yep.
Yeah, very cold cases.
And then on a higher note, the following week after that, we're gonna dive a little bit to the left.
It's a good left.
It's a good left. It's a good left.
Okay.
It's a good left.
I have reached out to C-Dub's Journey. Do you remember C-Dub's Patriot? Yep. I've reached out to her. She has taken on the RV nomadic life, and she is actually touring, I might say, along with another YouTuber named Dan Van. I think it's his channel.
Van Dan.
Or Van Dan or Dan Van. I can't remember. Van Dan. Yeah, Van Dan. Yeah, Van Dan. And they're geocaching. We'll be talking about geocaching and what that entails. We'll be talking about their
outdoor
camping,
survival, outdoor
survivals.
Like
exactly. That, Of course, now outdoor survival for them is in their camper, but that's a good kind of outdoor survival.
Yeah,
but they're not pulling up. They're not pulling up to no hotel or nothing like that. They're out there in the woods and stuff like that.
That's right. And in some cases, they're actually, and that's the other thing that we'll be talking about, is that there are state parks that they can actually camp out that has what they call rough camping, I think is what it's called, or something of that nature. Anyways, and there'll be that we'll be discussing a little bit of that. But they
do some fishing and things like that on the sides. So
that's right. I was going to say,
we can always
especially C-Dubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be getting that. So Jean-Claude Van Damme, wrong kind of Van Damme. But anyways, that's who we, like I said, we're going a little bit to the left on that one because it's out of the norm of what we normally talk about. However, I find it very interesting. I've shared it with Kelly.
They may have something that we might be able to use. You never know. I mean, because they're out doing this. This is how they live.
Exactly.
And so if we're out on a boat, I mean, some of the stuff that they take with them to on their trips, especially like kits, medical kits and things like that, might be useful for us.
Yep.
That's right. And Jim hit it right on the head. Primitive camping. I couldn't think of the name of it. Save my life. But okay, we'll make sure to spatchcock our chickens. Thank you very much.
Yes, we'll make sure. Yeah, we'll make sure.
After that, we'll get back into the whole fishing, storytelling, and everything else. We've got some great guests. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but we've got some great guests coming up after that. And we'll get into that.
Good product. One that's got a good product out there right now. It's been helping a lot of people do some hookup on fishing.
Yep. Got some new guys that they're kind of growing, a little bit. And they've got some good content going out that we want to, we want them up on the show and going to talk to them a little bit.
Sally Manelli.
Salmonelli.
Is that one of the Nilly Vanilli?
Yeah, that's
Milli
salmonella.
Vanilli.
I worked with an old guy. He couldn't say salmonella.
Yeah, that's the
That's
brother
what he
that
called
nobody's
it, salmonella.
Milli Vanilli.
Anyways, we got some great people coming up in the near future. So definitely be on the lookout for that. What else, Kel? We got anything else going, buddy?
Nope, working on the boat this week. I'm getting it.
Hopefully you'll get that going.
Yep,
I want to see you back out on the water.
Back on the water.
Well, I got my trailer pretty much all the way done. For those of you that didn't see my little rant that I had this afternoon on YouTube and TikTok, it seems like every time I turn around, I did every project I start, something inevitably goes wrong, and this was no exception. So if you haven't seen it already, go over to
see, I gave you good luck the other day on
well, that was the only luck I had.
Yeah.
So
and then you lost it.
I mean, exactly. Oh, and I lost it too. That's hence the reason I put that video out.
We're over on Dink Over Stinks page. He's doing a 500 subscriber giveaway. I win 2 of the giveaways. Kevin goes, "We'll pass some of that good luck to you." I said, "Okay, I'll pass it along." He wins, and then this is what happens.
The very next go.
Bad luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, and BQ said he laughed his butt off just because he felt my pain.
Yeah.
I think everybody felt that pain. I was like, I come in here and I ranted to Amy because I had to step away for a minute before I wound up throwing stuff across the yard, and I wound up ranting to her.
Probably still did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And so I walked back out there and I said, this is just too good not to share.
There you go.
Anyways, so I finally got all that taken care of, and I've got a few more odd and end stuff to do to that trailer, and it's going to be boat bound, baby.
There you go.
I know I was in a hurry. You're right, Justin. Exactly the reason I did it wrong.
That's what he told me. He's in too much of a hurry.
But I fixed it. So as long as I got it fixed, it's all good.
That's gonna be next week's word. Fixed it.
Fixed it.
We're gonna come up with some redneck words and see if my child.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Widget, did you?
Widget, did you? I took it with you. Did you?
Did you didn't bring your truck with you, did you?
There you go. All right, I know, but James is probably past his time to go to bed, and he passes. Well, he passes for bed most of the time, anyways.
He tells me he's in bed. He tells me he's in bed by 8 o'clock, at least laying down.
That's fine. And guys that does have shows that's in chat or whatever, I don't miss a lot of y'all shows. I'm just not in chat. And a lot of times I'm coming down the road. We have meetings or whatever at night, and I'm coming down the road. And I'll click it on, and I'm lucky enough to get the signal. So
I was about to highlight that one too.
I knew he was going to come up and say something.
That flux capacitor gets you in trouble, son. And that was the next one I was going to do. I need K-Bug to come help me. Yep. Well, in that video, I did have Jesus help me. Across the top of it, because I needed all the help I could get.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think we go ahead and kill this broadcast for tonight, and let Patriot go ahead and get into bed and everything, and get rested up for tomorrow's adventure. Y'all stay tuned next week, and like I said, or like Kelly was saying, we'll have Joe Jellison on next week, so that's going to be a really good show to do not miss. And we'll be doing another spotlight of the week as we did tonight. Tiffany, hey, girl. But yeah, we will be doing another spotlight of the week next week, and as the shows go on, we'll be doing more. So you guys make sure you stick around for that. Just hold, he gets to go to bed with the chickens. I feel like that sometimes
before the chickens. I'm usually rolling out of bed about 4:30 in the morning. So
there you go. All right, that's going to be everything. James, if you got anything more you want to say, bud?
God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America, guys and gals.
Yep.
Amen to you.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I'm going to take us out with the way I took us in.
Yep.
So let's do that now, and you guys have a wonderful night.